So here is something that I'm noticing about myself, and I'm just doing a video to express it because it's something on my mind. I don't feel that it's important or not important to keep it to myself or to tell it to someone. But I know for me, what I have noticed about myself is if I'm if I go for more than 2 or 3 days of not doing anything or not staying busy or having my blood flow or not exercising or having something to do, this is when I tend to fall in these ruts that I fall in. And these automatically come sometimes, and then they come when I sit around and I'm not doing anything. And it's someone, for me, I have to be doing something. I have to be keeping busy and keeping my mind occupied with something, because if I don't, where my thought goes and where how I get as a person, it's just not good for me. It's just not good. And another thing with me that is very strange is, this is very hard to explain what I mean, but I either, when I am doing something like this job and I have to be around other people, it's almost like I either have to get into the swing of being around that and getting used to that, or if I'm not at a job that's around other people or something, I don't want to be around people at all. You see, it's like a thing with me. I can't get used to switching things up too much, but I need to switch things up from time to time. It's very hard to explain. And it's nothing, it's nobody's fault. It's not other people's fault why I am the way I am. I'm just this way. I just get tired of seeing and being around the same people and doing the same repetitive things, and it feels so awkward some days. Then some days I don't mind it as other days. Some days it doesn't bother me. Then some day like today, it just bothered the living shit out of me today. I was angry, I was pissed, I was just all day today. It was just one of them days where if I wouldn't have been moving and I wouldn't have been doing something, I would have just gotten into this bad state of mind where I just start thinking, what's the point? I don't have the energy for this. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like when I'm in a flow of doing something, I have to keep doing it. What happened with me is I took off, and I had off for 3 days. And having off that 3 days, it almost threw me, well, it did. It threw me into like this little rut on the third day where I was like, okay, I'm getting back in to one of my things where I'm thinking how I think, and I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. It's just, in order for me to be satisfied or content with myself, I have to be doing one or the other. I have to be doing something completely alone by myself and with other like-minded people, or I have to be out here doing something. And even though I don't agree with every little thing, even though I don't get involved with, the stupid things or stuff like that, it's something where even though you don't want to do certain things, it's almost like you have to. It's almost like you got to force yourself to do certain things when you're in a situation where you have to survive and you need to provide a need. Like Do I like coming here every day? And every day I come here, it's nothing against the people. It's nothing against them. It's not that they are a problem. It's just how I am as a person. There's some days where I don't want to talk. I don't want to really say anything. I just want to do the job. And I'm like, leave me alone. I really don't want to. There's nothing to talk about right now. I don't really have anything to say. I'm kind of in a shitty mood, so just let me be. But see, this is what is so hard for me to, and look, I know it doesn't matter. I know nobody really cares. I'm just saying this for anybody that thinks like I do. It's this thing where we don't know each other too well enough to understand when it's a day where you're like, okay, you should know that I'm not in the mood to talk. You should know, like, okay, just leave me be. You see, this is what I can distinguish with people. I have a very keen sense to say, okay, well, someone doesn't want to be bothered today, so I'm not going to bother them. Someone is in a bad mood. Okay, well, let them be in their little bad mood and let them bad mood it out. You understand what I'm saying? And for me, I don't know how to say that to other people. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how to say that to other people without making them feel uncomfortable, like they're the problem. You see what I'm saying? But actually, it is to me that people are the problem, but they're not the problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you tell people, like, look, I just don't want to really say anything. I'm not up for this right now. I'm not in the mood. I just want to work and get this done and go to hell home. And how do you tell people stuff like that? See, this is why I want to start my own thing so bad, because I know that I'm not going to have to do that anymore. I know that I'm not going to have to put on this thing anymore. You know, I don't have to worry about doing that at all. You know, it ain't going to be this like applied pressure or this, I have to fit in with the rest of the thing. Like, I can't stand this fitting in stuff, this being a part of something. It's not right. It's not, the whole thing is screwy to me. It's just, let's do what needs done for the sake of doing something that needs done. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I want to start my own thing so bad, because I know I have a sense of people that are like me. I have a sense of people that they want to do some work and they want to get things done, and they want to have people that they can go to when they really do need help. When they really need somebody to talk to about something, they can go and talk to them. But on all the other things, we don't get involved with anything. We don't get involved with each other's personal or private stuff, or we just leave everybody be until it's the time where they say, okay, I have something that I need, or okay, there's something I need to talk to you about, and you will be there to listen to them. You see what I'm saying? And how to do this, I just don't know how to go about doing this. Because I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck in having to work for someone else right now. And there's nothing wrong with these people here. There's nothing wrong with them. It's not them. You know, they're actually very understanding about my own situation. You know, they have worked with me on my schedule. You know, the person here that is the manager has actually worked with me. They have helped me to make it as content for me as possible, and I appreciate that. But I just don't want to have to work for anybody. I don't want to have to say, okay, well, today I have to do this today, right now, at this time. I don't want to do that. I want to do it on my time. I want to have something to where when I do the things I do, it's just enough to survive. It's just enough to get by. It's just enough to have a little bit of food, something to drink, enough to stay as clean as I can for as long as I can without abusing or using way too much of something. Being frugal, being as frugal and minimal as possible, but still being able to survive. And being around people that are similar, that have a similar mindset, if that's even possible. But getting this thing started is where it's going to be like, how do you get other people to understand what you're saying? How do you get other people to really, really understand what you mean? And there are people that are, because this is for people that are loners. This is for, I'm speaking to people that, and it isn't that I'm saying that we're going to get together and do something. This isn't what I mean. I know that loners, people that seclude themselves, people that are like, what's the point of all this? Why am I here? This doesn't make sense. I just want to have something to do, to be content. I'm the same exact way. And I just know when I'm like, okay, it's going to start getting bad. So I need to do something. See, this is what happens every time I get into these, quote, depressions. See, depression is knowing. Depression is knowing too much. Depression is when you know when that's going to come, but you got out of bounds or out of balance with the thing you were doing, and you stopped and you got lazy. And that's what happens with me. I say, oh, well, I can take a day or 2 or 3 days off and not do anything. I can just sit around and I can just do my thing. I can't do that. I literally can't do that. I have to be keeping my mind on something. I have to know that there is something that I have to do, or something that needs to be done, that needs to get done in order for me to survive. Because if I don't have my mind focused on that, I start thinking, well, what's the point? Even though I do think like that. This is one of them days where I'm just thinking like, my goodness gracious, how am I going to be able to keep this up? How am I going to keep doing this? I have those days where I'm just ready to just completely give up, and that's a very, very bad feeling when you're 37 years old and you're just like, some days I just don't even want to do any of this, but what else can I do? What else can I possibly do? I can't do anything else. I can't do anything else. And, listen, there's times where I talk about things that I talk about and I realize, even though they're true for me, even though it's really going on and happening, even some things that are true and are real reality and are logical, it's almost like they're too much. They're too much to handle. It's almost like the truth itself is overbearing sometimes, when you actually know things and you have knowledge and you're calling things out, and you kind of see that even though you're being brutally honest with yourself, and I'm still going to be honest with myself, it's almost like sometimes you've just got to let shit alone. You just got to even not indulge in it or think about it and just do something. Like, have something you're doing, or go around where people are doing something productive, or this has nothing to do with being just a gullible idiot doing these things. That's not what I mean. It doesn't mean that you're gullible, or you're just involving yourself with the masses to be a part of the popular thing. That's not what I mean. It's just, you just go so that you can get your blood flowing, so that you can have something to do for yourself, so that you're not driving yourself mad thinking about some things that, even though they're true, even though they're reality, even though it's how it really is, sometimes I have to just block this shit out. I can't think about it, because there's some days where I need that for my mind, and then there's other days where I go, I can't handle this. I just can't handle it. Like, my mind literally cannot handle it. And I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to be honest with myself, because if I can't be honest with myself, then I know that I'm bullshitting myself, and I can't bullshit myself. But yet again, it's almost like, even when you know something is how you think it is, sometimes you just got to say, okay, I know how this is, but it doesn't matter, because it's got to be done anyway. You know, it's got to be said anyway. I have to do something. Like, I can't just sit here and rot away and think about how bad life is and all this, because this is what I do. I do the same shit myself. I get in these modes where I just start thinking about these things, and all that it's doing is affecting me. It's just hurting myself. It's just, I see what I'm doing to myself most days. But then again, I can't help it, because I can't lie to myself. You see what I'm saying? I can't lie to myself, and I can't bullshit myself. But then at the same time, I got to say, okay, even though I know what this is, you just got to go do it, Nate. You just got to do it, because you know if you don't, you know what it's going to be. You know how this is, and you know how you think, and you know how you get, and you know how, even though you're not in the mood, even though you don't want to be around certain people, and some days you don't want to be around people at all, it's like, so what? It's like, so what? Just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. And that's what I gotta do to get out of my shit, to get out of these ruts I get in. I have to do it. There's nothing else for me to do, because if there was, then that would mean that I was making a living off of my art and my music and my craft, and then I wouldn't have to worry about these things. But that's not what's happening for me right now. I'm not in a place where I can do my own thing, and I can make my own thing happen and have the resources to make my own thing happen. So in the meantime, I have to do something that I really don't want to do. I don't know what else to do. You know, I don't know what else to do. The only other thing that I can possibly do is, if I decided to ditch what I'm doing now, is to go and try to get Social Security, or to try to get some kind of housing or something, because I don't know what else to do. I don't know where else to go. I don't know of like a sanctuary or a monastery where like-minded people are like me, that just get the work done. They help each other when help is needed, but they don't get involved with each other's personal stuff. There isn't this gossip thing going on. You see, it's this thing where when something needs done, we do it. And when we're doing something together, we're doing it. But then when it's time to go, it's time to go. See you later. If you need me, you know where I'm at. See you later. I'm going to do my own thing now. And then when we get together again, that's what we get together for. We get together for those things. And I'm realizing now, the only way that this is going to happen is if you make it happen as a person. I see now that other people, they're too scared to make it happen. They're in too much of the fear of what the rest of the world is going to say, or what the rest of the world is doing. Or if they start their own thing, that everybody's going to talk about them, and it's going to be weird and all this shit. Like, I'm past that thought. I am past all that kind of thinking. If I had the resources are the most important thing here. If you have resources, then you can make things happen how you want them. But when you don't have resources, then you have to do some things. You have to get involved with some people. You have to get involved with people, places, and things that you might not want to, but you have to for a time. It's just how it is, because what else is there to do? I mean, I could get in my car and I could drive wherever, and I could just take the little bit that I do have and just say, okay, well, I'm going to just drive my car and go out here. But then I say, okay, well, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I would like to go somewhere where it's not too hot or not too cold, where I can live outside and do my thing, kind of like maybe a street performer, or someone that sets up a table and has, like, what I want to do is I want to get like a minivan or some type of truck where I can put some stuff in and I can maybe live in it, or live in a cheap apartment and work at some part-time job and then do my thing on the side until I get that organized so that I can do what I really want to do. Because I just don't see me, if I'm being honest, I don't see me doing this for another couple years. It's just not for me. I was not born to do this. I know deep within my energy and my aura and who I am as a person, I was not made to be working under another person. I was made to do my own thing, to run my own thing, to be the person that is in charge of a place, but I'm not a leader. Do you understand? I'm not. It's very hard to explain what I mean, but this is just my thought right now. It doesn't matter right now. I'm just talking about it because it's on my mind, and it's just something. It drives me crazy, but at the same time, it's the only thing that I see left for myself. And when I say drives me crazy, I'm talking about the things that I gotta do until I get there, when I get there. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to say if I get there, because if I talk like that, then I'm not affirming in my head that it's going to happen. See, if I say I don't know, or if it happens, or it might happen, or things will go awry, I already know there's things that are going to mishaps, and there's going to be things that go wrong. That's just life. That's life. But I can't, right when I get the thought in my head of, oh, well, it won't happen, I can't do this. If I start thinking like that, the whole thing goes to shit. And then I'm not affirming it in my mind anymore. And that's what, when I'm not staying, see, this is what I'm saying, and I got to end the video because I got to get back to work here. But if I'm not staying in that frame of mind, if I'm not telling myself this and I'm not staying busy, and I let myself go for more than a couple days, I get back in this just completely fucked up way of thinking. And it's not good for me. It's so bad for me. It's so bad, and it gets me in a way where I can't explain to people. I can't even explain it, it's just not good. It's not good for me. So that's why, it's kind of like, if I'm being honest, it's kind of like a do or die thing right now. Because I can't see me doing this for another couple years. I just can't see me doing it. It's like something's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. That's just where I'm at in my life, And see, not too many people will be this honest. Not too many people will talk about this, but you know what? This is where I am. I don't care. It is what it is, man. I can't keep this shit in. I can't keep acting like something or some way that it isn't. It's just what it is right now. And I'm telling you, I'm the type of person, I am a person that if I could just get one big lucky break, I would not use that like other people would use it. I would not, I'm not worried about buying fancy things for people or getting, the latest shoes or all that. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about getting my living situation the way that I need it for myself. I'm worried about getting a piece of land for myself. building my own place, getting my own address. Why don't we do this? Why don't we start thinking about this stuff? When we have that, it's not going to solve all of your problems. It's just going to give you some security in your own life. It's going to give you some more security for yourself. We know that there is no such thing as solving every problem here. We already know that. You can't solve every problem. Life is always going to be a problem. But what I mean is I'm doing everything I can to solve, to be as content and to have it to where I have a little bit of what I just said, the word that I said, for myself. I know that it's not going to completely and totally get there. That isn't how it works. But I'm telling you, man, the more that I see this, it's like there is no other way. I just got to get that through my mind. I got to get it through my head. And it's almost like it's just like a do or die thing, And in saying that, see, you sound desperate. You seem really desperate. You seem something like that. Yeah, I kind of am, but at the same time, it isn't that I don't know. It isn't that I don't understand this. It isn't that I know that I don't have something, because I know that I have a vision for myself. I have a vision for what I want to do. I'm just being held back because I don't have the things to do it. I don't have the resources to do it. I don't have the manpower to do it. I don't have the backing up to do it. So that's why I haven't done it yet. But see, I realize I'm going to have to make it happen. I'm going to have to make it happen. And I don't want to put pressure on myself, but it's just a thing that I have to be staying busy. I have to keep my blood flowing. If I stop and say, I'll just do it, tomorrow, the next day, and I procrastinate and I sit around, that is the worst thing that I can do. It is a thing where I can't ease up on this. Right now, I can't. I just can't do it. And it isn't exhausting myself. I'm not going to exhaust myself, but it's just having enough time to work and get paid so that I can pay for my living situation, and in the spare time doing something else in the meantime so that I don't have to keep doing this, if that makes sense. And doing that, it has to happen now. It has to happen now, because I just can't see myself doing anything else. I can't see myself forcing myself to do something I don't want to do for the rest of my life. I just can't do it. I can't take that burden upon my shoulder. I just know too much. I have too much up here. I have too many things I want to do to be going to a 9-to-5 job every day, or even a part-time job. I can hardly handle a part-time job. So there's no way I'm going to be able to handle a full-time job. It's just not going to happen for me. And I said this before, it's just not for my mentality. I need to be doing something I'm interested in doing and just making enough. That's all. Just making a minimal living. I don't want to get rich. I don't care about being rich. I just want to get by. I just want to have enough to get by for myself, and to know that I'm going to have just enough. That's it. That's all I want. That's all that I want. And that's what I'm affirming in my mind. And if I keep thinking that, then it's either going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But then I'm going to go on to something else. I'm not going to say, okay, well, that's it. Then I'm going to have to think of something else. But in the meantime, I'm thinking of this right now. And that's what it is. So I just wanted to get that off my mind. I know, hey, I don't know if it means or matters to you, but it matters to me, and I'm just saying it and venting it. So later, take care, later.